All right. Hang on. Where's my? I don't know if you can hear all that. It's my neighbor's dog. Hold on. Let me see. It says I'm not signed in. I'm always having these little technical difficulties. I apologize because I'm really learning how to do this. Hang on. Hold on. Oh man, I'm gonna lose all my people who follow. Okay. I'm gonna lose all the people that follow me. Okay, I think I got it going. That was embarrassing. Okay, let me see if I can. Let me just make sure I'm going. Oh man, this is what happens when you let 64-year-old men do things like live streaming, and it's it's amazingly embarrassing. I'm just sorry that. Let me see if I'm live. There we go. Perfect. All right. We are live and I'm rolling. Okay. So this one, I apologize also for not being on. I try to post these or do these every week to talk about this store track, StarFleet Academy. The last one I did was episode 6, and I just got to be frank with you. I'm not finding a whole lot of joy. I love Star Trek, and to see episode after episode that has challenges, it's just kind of anyway. Oh wait a minute, I gotta lift the camera up a little bit. All right, yeah, this to have episode after episode where I don't want to be. I don't want to get on live and just complain. So it's hard to get motivated, right? Because I could easily just sit and talk about all the things that are wrong about it because there's a lot. But and I am a positive person, and I try my best to see what I can find that's good. And so this last one is called Cozine, which is episode 7. I just got tired. I really did. I got exhausted. I'm going to say that on a whole, it was not awful. It was just bad. So I guess in a positive note, we're moving in the right direction. I mean, I would say it would start off with an F, and now we've got a solid D. So I mean, it's not, it's not a passing grade, but it's at least it's not just awful. I mean, I was close to just giving up, and that's where I'll be honest, that's where I've been. I took a nice little vacation and met my sister. We went to Mexico, and so I enjoyed myself. So that was a week. I was a week away from my house. I was in Mexico having a wonderful time. If you've ever been to Mazatlan, if you're an American, don't go. I mean, it's not touristy. There's no Americans. There were some ugly Americans there that was like telling people that they should speak English, and I went to punch them in the face. But, I'm just saying, but for the most part, the people there live there, or people were vacationing from Mexico City to come to Mazatlan. So I think a lot of native Mexicans vacation in Mazatlan, and people from overseas go to like Cancun and Puerto Vallarta and stuff like that. But I think the native people go to Mazatlan. So if you're not going to be an asshole, and you're not going to be asking people to speak English for you, and you're not going to be a jerk, then you go to Mazatlan. But if you want to be a jerk, go someplace else where they will cater to you. The salsa I had these tacos, was so hot. I mean, you know how when something's really hot, your nose starts sweating? And my nose was sweating with these tacos. And that was the mild sauce. And I itched it up and got the medium. And like I said, if you're one of these Americans, you can't eat hot, spicy food like that. You're going to cry and die and stuff like that. I got to see whales, but I've never seen a whale in the ocean before. I'm taking pictures and videos if you follow me on YouTube, I posted a video of Mazatlan just driving around tour, and then I posted some videos of the whales that I saw. And so if you want to see that, go check out some of my other videos on that. But now back to StarFleet Academy Cozine. So I watched it. I did. I watched it, and like I said, I'm just getting exhausted. I'm trying to get through. I don't imagine there's too many more, episodes. I think it's only 10. So I'm trying to guts through them all and really get through them, but it's really tough. I'm telling you, I just don't have any comments. There's someone that just doesn't like the 60 years of Star Trek, and they just want to do something to screw it all up. And I don't know what the motivation is, if it's for attention or whatnot, but it's just, I don't see any need to do this the way they're doing it. I wish I did have the opportunity to talk to somebody. I would just want to know, what's your motivation and what are you hoping to accomplish? And I know the people who are online, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, and there's people who say they love this, but they're never specific about what they're loving. I think they're just putting their thumb right in the eyes of people who like this, and that's how they get attention. I don't think they really like this either, because there's no point. So this Cozine one, it starts off, they're going on spring break. Well, I guess. I don't even know if they was in the academy long enough to be on spring break, but they're on spring break, and apparently the technology for the transporter is so good that now, they have the Reno person, and I don't even know what her role is, head mistress of the academy. I don't know what your role is. But anyways, she's got the clipboard. She's telling everybody where to go. And she's instantly teleporting people to their house, from the academy back home. I don't know if they're going to different planets because these are aliens. Some of them are aliens, some of them are humans. But somehow they've figured out the technology to instantaneously transport somebody to a different part of the planet or to the different planet. Which leads me to another question, which I kind of don't get now. If the technology is so good that you can transport a whole crew of people to all these different locations, what's the point of having a StarFleet anymore? I don't know if I understand the point anymore. If you can deploy your troops from a centralized location directly to someplace else, what are you doing with a ship anymore? So that confused me. I didn't understand the logic of that, but it's the future. So that was one thing I would expect, that something in the future would be futuristic. But I think you maybe want to think about the fact that, if you can just zap people places, then what's the point of the exploration anymore? Just go and see you later. Second thing is they went to, I guess a couple of people, one person didn't want to go, the star of the show, what the heck is his name? Cliff, Chad, Curtis, whatever the guy, the tall guy is, the star of the show, he ain't got anywhere to go, right? Because his mom is kidnapped. In episode 6, he's got mad at the captain with the funny mouth because she didn't ask where the mom was. So he really doesn't have any place to go. He has no family. So he's going to stay at the academy. She told him that the captain had a place for him to go. And he's like, I don't want to go. And this was such a weird, you can't go. And he says, I'm not going to go. And she's like, okay, you don't have to go. It was such a dumb conversation between the guy who's the main character. I don't know why these characters are so unmemorable. I know I'm getting old, but they're just so unmemorable. I just can't remember his name. And the captain, I don't even know her name, the Holly Hunter captain. The two of them are the weirdest. And you know what's so weird about the future? This is the future, right? 800,000, but from today, it's 1,000 years into the future, right? Yet, she still has to pack a suitcase. And you know what kind of suitcase she has? 1,000 years from now, she has a worse suitcase than I have today. What the? She's like sitting on it and stomping on it, and they're both sitting on it trying to close the suitcase. Number one, what do you need all these clothes for 1,000 years in the future? I just can't imagine that 1,000 years from now, I'm going to need all these clothes. Can't I just go? And when I get there, isn't there some device that could replicate me some swim trunks or something and a t-shirt? And then then when I'm done, they all dissolve and return back into their native form or something. Why am I carrying clothes around? Oh, hey, here we got some comments. You gave it 2 minutes. Hey, look, I gave it more than 2 minutes because I knew I was going to try to talk. I almost can't do it. I'm getting to the point where it's very difficult to do because, like I was talking about, how in the world are you struggling with a suitcase? My suitcase, like I said, I just took a trip to Mexico. Do you know my suitcase has like the little accordion thing, so when it gets really, really full, I can actually expand it out a little bit? You think that would exist 1,000 years from now? Or second of all, I just don't understand, why do I need possessions 1,000 years from now? The only reason I have possessions because we live in a world where me owning stuff, me being having property and pursuing material items is part of our society. My understanding from the original series, from all the way up to Enterprise, which is kind of the second one, but the last one that actually came on television, every iteration of Star Trek, we have solved this whole materialistic culture where we don't need to have all these possessions and we don't need to carry around big suitcases anymore, because whenever we need something, we can have it, because our most important thing is for us to be developing as humans and to be self-actualized and to enjoy what it is we're doing, not worrying about how many boots I can take on vacation. Those days are supposed to be over. But no, they have this dopey Holly Hunter woman trying to shove boots into a suitcase and sitting on it, and it was so ridiculous. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't get caught up, because that definitely wasn't the most ridiculous thing. That's just the way it started. And like you said, oh hey, welcome to the stream. I'm just kind of blowing a little steam, and I'm not upset. It's just kind of absurd what they're doing. And so, now back to this whole the main plot is getting all of the cadets to go off on vacation, and now the one cadet, Genesis, I remember her name, and I don't know why I remember her name, but I do remember her name. She was gonna go visit her dad. Now every character in all of these shows, and I don't know what happened. I mean, I'll be honest. If you are a 20 to 30-year-old person, for some reason, you've got problems with your parents. I don't know. I mean, 1,000 years from now, 20 to 30-year-old people are still having problems with their parents. I think this is a today thing. And who's ever involved in this is a youth thing. I'm seeing a lot of things about this StarFleet Academy that aren't 1,000 years in the future. This is somebody's issue they're having today. Somebody couldn't figure out how to pack their suitcase today, so they took that same problem 1,000 years into the future. Somebody today has issues with their parents, so they took that 1,000 years into the future. Instead of coming up with futuristic technology, they just take the same problems that they're facing today and just put them in space, in space attire. So this is what's absurd, and I don't know, and this is maybe a little side tangent, that it just appears that a lot of energy goes to people in their 20s and 30s in disliking their parents. And I've got 5 kids, and I would say, I would go on a limb to say that they all like me. I'm not saying they all love me. I know they all love me. Love is one thing. I'm talking about liking me. I think not only do they love me, but I believe they all like me. In other words, we could get along. I text them, we talk, I go visit, and everybody seems to be, there's no one ruining the day that I show up. I mean, everybody's looking forward to seeing me and talking to me and interacting with me. I don't have anybody who feels like they had a childhood that they didn't like and they don't like me and they have issues with me, or maybe they need therapy because of me. In these shows, for some reason, if you go on TikTok, Instagram, anywhere, you've got all these people running around that hate. I'm 64 years old. They hate boomers. We hate boomers. And basically they're saying they hate their parents. I don't know who these kids are. I really don't. What's happened to these 20 to 30, maybe 40-year-old people running around hating their parents? What did your parents do to you? I mean, maybe they should, before you put on a show, just say, hey, look, I had trauma with my parents, and that's going to reflect throughout every episode of whatever I do and whatever I write. And I don't know what happened. My parents, I mean, they're long gone. Yeah, they do hate boomers. My parents are long gone. My dad, if something went wrong, hit me with a belt. My mom, I did something really crazy, it hit me with, my parents hit me with things, and it never crossed my mind to hate them. I mean, no matter what, it just never crossed my mind to hate them, no matter what. I mean, Mom cooked the great food and took me places and took me to the zoo, took me to the park, I mean, when I had hair, she would comb my hair and give me these little braids and then comb them out for the day, make sure I had a bath and I was clean and I didn't have holes. I mean, if I had holes in my stuff, I mean, we were poor. So I remember seeing her, sewing stuff back together again that fell apart. I've had a whole shoe fall off the bottom of my foot, and somehow they was able to put that stuff back together, and I was able to walk around with some shoes on. I mean, it wasn't till much later in life, and maybe when I turned to a teenager, where things started to turn around and we weren't poor. It seemed like once my brother and sister, which are older, they went off to do things and to go to college and stuff. It seemed like it freed up money, so now I could get some clothes. I don't have to wear the same clothes anymore. So, but I'm just saying, I don't understand what happened with these people where their life was so miserable that they hate their parents. I love my parents. Both of them are gone. I would give anything, if I could have some more time with them. And these people are like, I don't ever want to see them again. Anyways, moving forward. So the reason I bring that up is this Genesis character was supposed to go see her dad. She went on this amazing transport that they've invented as a part of StarFleet Academy, where you just walk through it and next thing you know, you're back to the future. And apparently she just said, I don't want to spend the weekend with my dad, and came back to the StarFleet. She'd rather be in school by herself. She didn't know that the other guy was going to be there. So she actually was there now by herself with the other guy, and they could work out their issues together. So they were kind of playing, at StarFleet Academy, the two of them, and going through issues that she had with her dad, and she had to, I think she cheated or something on her application to get into Starfleet Academy. And I don't know why she would have to cheat. There's all sorts of people in that Starfleet Academy that seem like complete losers. I don't think there was any requirement to get in Starfleet Academy. If you look at, what was that, episode 1? The one girl said she ate her comm badge. I don't think she did any application. You know what I mean? I don't think there was any requirement to get in at Starfleet Academy. So what she had to do to lie to get in, I don't know what she had to lie about. And the guy she's talking to, Caleb, that's his name. Caleb was a criminal before he came into Starfleet Academy. So I don't know what she had done that she thinks she wasn't qualified for Starfleet Academy, because clearly no one, not even a hologram, is qualified to be in Starfleet Academy. You got a holographic Sam that's not even qualified to be in Starfleet Academy. Yeah, Starfleet short bus. I don't know. It didn't seem like there's any requirements for athleticism, intelligence, courage, or anything you would expect to see if somebody going into a form of military. I mean, so that's what Starfleet has always been, as far as I know. It's been a pseudo representation of the Navy, right? And that we've got all these nautical terms. Even a tractor beam. I just learned just not too long ago that ships actually really do have tractor beams. I didn't know that. I thought that was something they made up for Star Trek, but it's something that actually can grapple some. If it's a large ship, can actually grapple something and pull it toward it, and it's actually called a tractor beam. I didn't know that really existed. Oh my God, the hologram eating dirt. I think I covered that one too already. That was just, but wait a minute. There's the episodes is out now. I haven't watched it, so give me a chance to watch it. This hologram even does more crazy stuff. I think it's still glitching. Does that make sense? Anyways. Okay, but I'll get there. I have to probably drink some more or something to watch it. But it's just, I don't know how I can get through 8, because I've already seen kind of a preview of 8, and it looks completely absurd. Now, let's go back to 7. Go see. So now, okay, I've already covered it's kind of like the B story, which is Genesis and Caleb stay on the school, which is also the Athena Yeah. Anyway, so that's so, and then they interact and they start playing, and they play in the labs and they play with each other, but they don't. They have a little bit of interest in each other, but it's not like they're gonna do anything with each other. They're just really close friends that are expressing their feelings to each other. I get sick of all the feelings. By the way, I'm getting sick of all these feelings. I be feeling like y'all should be paying me. Y'all should be paying me to listen to all these feelings. I mean, if I am not a psychiatrist, I feel like I should be like having all these academy peoples laying on some sofa and I got to listen to all their woes and their feelings. And I'm like, oh my goodness, they should send me a check after watching the show and listening to all this feelings. And so at the end of it, apparently Genesis just feels good about herself and she feels like she can move forward and be a leader. Okay, that takes her. Now let's go to the B story, which has to do with Gaten, Kyle, and Darren. See, I remember their names. I'm getting there. I remember some of their names. So now, we're getting so many mixed signals here, right? Because in which episode was it? I think it was episode 6. We had Darren being gay, and now Gaten's gay, and Kyle's gay. So we had three gay men, but then all of a sudden, one of these gay men, which is Darren, gets kidnapped by people from his home planet. Do you notice how easy it is to get on this school campus and kidnap people? No alarms go off, no aliens, nothing. It's just like you just walk on there. I know if you go to a school today, there's guards and stuff. Like my kids, I'm talking about when my kids were in grade school, my oldest is 35, so them being in school, like high school, was 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I just couldn't walk into the school and go grab my kid. I had to go check in at the front, let them know I was there. Then they would tell me where to go, and I had to sign in, all that kind of stuff with a paper and a pen. You would think that 1,000 years into the future, there would be better security with schools and be able to get in and out of them, that an alien just can't come and kidnap somebody without at least somebody knowing they're missing. Don't they have comm badges? Or maybe they ate them all. Well, let's see what you guys are saying. They think Tilly. Oh, no, please, no, I'm not doing that yet. I got to be honest with you. I'm not even sure I'm going to watch that one. Okay, the next one, I'm not even sure if I'm going to watch it. I had a hard time getting through this Cozine one. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure. I hate to let everybody down. I'm just not sure if I'm going to watch that one because I wasn't a fan of this Tilly in Discovery. I certainly don't want to see her again. And, okay, I'll tangent off that one more second. I've seen the actress Tilly is on, you can look on YouTube and she's there, and she's lost a lot of weight. However, in the preview I saw, she's heavy again. I'm like, okay, did they AI the woman's body because now, if she's actually looks skinny, then, you can't make her have issues that you can do feelings and therapy on. But anyways, I'll see. I'm getting up my, every time I watch an episode of this, I got to watch 2 episodes of anything on Star Trek just to counterman the effects of watching this show. Anyways, so they kidnapped Darren. I hope you guys are okay. I don't take notes. I just go straight off of memory. I always think about writing this stuff down. But if I remember one I did, I watched it again. I got some things wrong. If I get some things wrong, the reason I'm getting them wrong is because I'm not writing anything down. This is all just coming right off the top of my head. And the older I get, there's less on the top of my head. I'm probably still thinking about being in Mexico and forgetting about what I watched in that show. But they kidnap him, And guess who goes to the rescue? Gaten. He sees the portal opening up, and because he is a trained cadet in Starfleet and knows how to react on the spot, it took him almost 5 minutes to go through the portal to go chase after his friend Darren. I was the longest portal opening in the history of being portal opening, and he was just looking at it and looking at it, and finally he goes through. So, next thing you know, he goes through and sees Darren. Oh, wait a minute. I wonder if I have a graphic on this. It's so bad. Hang on. Let me see. I might have a graphic on this one. Let's turn this back on again. And oh, there they are. There's our dynamic duo. I had somebody off to the side. I have somebody that I'm actually a photographer and videographer. I had somebody who wants to do a video of themselves doing some sort of presentation, and I was showing them how I do these things on OBS. And so, if you're the kind of person that actually needs to demo stuff and show stuff, this technology I'm using right now, using OBS, is just amazing. I'm just scratching the surface of what I could do with this, but it's just really amazing. You know, the integration of audio, video, audio, visual presentations. I could make a PowerPoint and run that through here. I can remove back. I can do all sorts of cool stuff. I can actually change my background, look like I'm out in outer space. I can do anything I want to on this thing. It's kind of really cool. Anyways, so back up just a little bit before Darren gets kidnapped. There's this little bit of a dynamic sexual tension between Darren and Gaten, and they have a little conversation. And then guess what? Here comes Kyle, who is now, after the previous episode, which the one they did about, which that was the previous one where they had with the hologram trying to be communing with Cisco, and then actually getting to talk to Jake. So anyways, so now it's full blown. Gaten is actually gay and dating Kyle. I told you, didn't I tell you this was going to happen? I told you they snuck this in on. They snuck this up on you. Now, there's been gay characters in Star Trek before, but this one is kind of sneaky. They didn't come right out and say the guy was gay. You know, I mean, that to me is really weird and sneaky. I'm not gay. If I was gay, I'd be offended that you'd have to sneak the gay character in. You know, we kind of had a feeling there was something different about him, but it took all the way up to episode 7 for him to have Kyle, and then now for him to be gay. All it was hinted at and alluded to, and he's acting different. And then finally, here we are, 7 episodes into it, the guy's gay. I'm saying I would be offended. Like I would be offended. I know gay men. I know gay men at work. I know gay men when I've shot gay weddings with gay men. I've never met a gay man, that, I don't know. I've never met anyone like that, where they're just kind of sneaky and stuff. So I would be offended by that stereotype. I'm a photographer. I get calls, and he asked me if they would shoot their wedding or proposal, and they're like, we're a gay couple, and I'm like, as long as you pay me, I don't care. But what I'm saying is, maybe back in the 1930s or something, people were kind of sneaking around like that, but I've not experienced people being this sneaky about them being gay. I just don't know. To me, this seems like this was written by somebody who was not gay, because I also think that if a gay person Let's, for example, at work. There's gay men at work, but I've never seen a gay man at work just sneaking around, flirting with other men at work. I mean, the guy's there working. I mean, I don't care if he's gay or not. I mean, but the fact that this stereotype is this gay guy can't go to work without getting the hots with another man at work is the stereotype I thought gay people wanted to avoid. I mean, why? You know, remember we were talking about there's gays in the military, and the people who were homophobic were talking about how these gay men were sneaking around and trying to flirt with other men, when the gay men were saying, we just want to serve our country. That's not what this example is showing. This Gaten is clearly trying to flirt with, and the Durham and the Kyle, they're all just snooping around trying to flirt with other men, which is the worst stereotype that you want to have for a gay man at work. I would sue him if I was gay. No, yeah, it's not. It definitely isn't even quality gay drama. I mean, I would think that if you, like you said, if you have a gay man, you'd want him to be the best. I mean, it's a fantasy, for crying out loud. I'm sorry, if I want to see a black character on television and I'm black, I don't want to see a weak black character. I could go down the street and go on the corner and see a weak black person. I want to see a badass black person on there. I want to see Benjamin Sisko kicking ass and shit. That's the black guy I want to see on TV. If you want me to have a fantasy, my fantasy is some guy, even like Uhura, she was on the original series. That's black person. She's kicking ass. And remember that Mirror episode? She's taking out a knife and kicking Sulu's ass. That's what I want to see. I want my black characters to be badasses and solving badass problems. And I would think everybody would want that. You want the white characters to be fucking badasses and kicking ass and solving problems. You want the Asian dude to come out and be a badass and kicking ass and solving problems. You want the gay man, the gay woman to be like, what about the freaking Jadzia Dax? I don't know what you call that. She's a young woman with a symbiote in there that's been a man and woman, and all over the place. Been a Klingon at one point, has been an old man that Cisco knew, but whatever incarnation, it produced this badass that could fight and fly the fucking ship. I mean, if that's a trans person, I would say that's my example. This person who's this badass kicking ass and taking names. I mean, I wouldn't want some weak, sweating, shaking, trembling person to be representing, whatever it is I was. So anyways, enough of that. So here's Gaten goes through the portal just to find out that Durham is some sort of heir to the throne of his whole people. All right. He didn't know that? Why did you even join Starfleet Command if you knew within a couple of weeks you're going to be kidnapped and you're going to marry your queen, and then you're going to be the ruler of your whole civilization? Why did you even go into Starfleet Command in the first place, knowing that was your future? It makes no sense. So he goes there. Just say no to wussies. Yeah, nobody cares about any of this. There's like, they don't like it because they're young. Or they don't like it because they're gay. They don't like it because they're black. No, you don't like it because they're wussies. they're not good characters, and they would not make it in space. I mean, so everybody knows that life is not easy in space. I don't care what you'd say. I mean, it can't be. I mean, there's no air, there's no gravity, there's no place to go, except to boldly go. It's not like you can go to the 7-Eleven if you forgot something. You got to be ready for whatever happens out there. And if your ship gets hit and the life support goes out, you got 5 minutes or until the commercial to fix that. Somehow you're in a dire situation, and you can't have nervous people eating their comm badges. And like that one episode, the lady had a freaking panic attack on the bridge. You can't have a panic attack on the bridge. I'm sorry, you can't. It's a tough situation to be in, and that's why not everybody can do it. I probably can't do it. I'm probably too old to be flying around on a starship. If there ever was a starship, I probably wouldn't qualify for it. That's what I mean. That's the point of watching this show. It's a fantasy about people doing some badass stuff that we all wish we could do. I wish I could be on the bridge and fire a photon torpedo and blow some stuff up. But I would probably pee my pants, when I saw the thing coming towards me, because I don't have that kind of personality and characteristic. So when Gaten walks in, I don't think I've got a picture of it. He sees Darum with a man who just popped a bottle at his groin level, and it looked like what you would imagine, like I said, I'd be offended if I was gay. So they're printing like some gay man has his stuff out, and it then popped open onto Darum. Like he had just finished performing an act on that man. You watch it. I mean, it's ridiculous. And they're holding him to told him in the spot to do that. At that point, I was pretty close to turning it off. I was almost done. I'm like, okay, now I knew it wouldn't be long before they were going to try to have these men having sex. I know that's their next. I knew that was the next spot. That's the next step. They've been hinting at it and hinting at it and hinting at it. I knew that was the next step, is we're going to see flat out gay men having sex. But we were spared at this. We only got a kiss on the cheek this time. But like I said, they're sneaky, and they're sneaking up to us. So they had Kyle kiss Gaten on the face. And I know they're just sneaking up on it and sneaking up on it. All right, where were we? So now we've got the big reveal that Gaten, that Darum is the heir apparent to his whole civilization. He's about to get married to the queen, and he says, he didn't ask him, he told these other guys that Gaten was his best man. It's Cozine, and that's what the title of the show is, Cozine, which is best man. Da, da, da. So, now I don't know if I don't have a full body picture of this Gaten, I don't think. Let me look. You can't see it, but dude is wearing a dress, all right? And it is a ridiculous looking dress, and so he's wearing a dress, and I don't have a full body picture. I'd have to do some more searching and stuff. But he's wearing a dress. It looks like some tights. I got to find this picture. I'll have to post it or something. And the biggest shoes you've ever seen in your life. He looks like a cartoon character of himself. It's like his legs are like this big, and his feet, it's like he's got size 18 feet. He looks like he's got these skinny bird legs, and his feet look like his Shaq. Have you ever seen going to where is that? I think I've gone to some museum where they had a pair of Shaq's tennis shoes. Man, Gaten the Clown. It was ridiculous. You can't get that picture out of your head. I think there's some sort of cartoon where there's a gay character who's got big feet like that. I'm going to have to search for that. But I think it's like there is some cartoon that looks like this. It's got the hair. Because I think I've seen it somewhere. And it's got the dress. And the feet are really, really big. And this is some gay character. And I don't know what it is. But I know it's out there because I've seen it. When I saw them walk around like that, this is so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Okay. Now, after he says he's his best man, they go through this whole ceremony, and now Gaten has to dress up in this gown. I thought it was going to be a full gown, but it's not. It's the top is a blouse, but then they're pants. So he's not in a full blouse and skirt yet. But they're getting there. Don't worry, they're going to get there. And one of his responsibilities is to give the speech, right? The the what do they call that? The best man speech at the wedding ceremony. Well, go back to season, what was it, episode 4 or so, when he was the worst speaker in the world or something like that, and he's sweating and having panic attacks. He's like, I don't do public speaking. Well, he gathers up his gay loins, and I'm going to tell you something. The speech he gave was not bad. I would give that speech a B. I mean, the whole episode gets a D, but that speech was actually pretty good. I mean, he was talking about how Durham makes a difference in people's lives, even though I don't know if we had a whole lot of examples of him doing that, but he did do a few things. He did something in episode 2, or is it episode 1, when he walked out on the ship to save everybody. And I don't think he's done anything since then. But he did have one heroic moment. And I'm trying to think if he had any more. During the one where they all got attacked by the furries that were eating them, I don't think Durham did anything on that one. Except smile. I don't even think they gave him any talking lines in that one. But anyway, so he gave the speech. Pause for a second. They could really do a great job with this Gaten character. I mean, I'm going to tell you, because he did a great job with that speech. I give it a B. Let me tell you why I didn't give it an A. I've heard a YouTube video, and on TikTok, this actor actually has a fairly decent voice. When he's talking, he's got a fairly decent voice. But for some reason, they're having him talk in this lower tone that makes him sound like an idiot. I think what they should do, this is my proposal. I can't fix this series, but I can fix this one character. Let's go ahead and reboot him. And let's go ahead and make him gay, right? Don't beat around the bush. Just go ahead and reboot the character, and and here's what we should do. We should do just like they did in one of those episodes of Star Trek Voyager, or they did it in Voyager twice, right? There was one episode called Tuvix, right, where they had Tuvok and Neelix, which I didn't really care for too much Neelix anyhow. And they went down on some planet, the transporter screwed up and combined them into this one person, which was Tuvix, right? And then they end up taking them back apart again. Well, they could take this character and take some other character that's no good on the show, like the captain, and just have them have a transporter malfunction, combine these two characters, go ahead and make them half woman and half gay, and then call them, I don't even know her name. What's the name of the captain? Mumbles? I think her name is Mumbles. Mumbles and Gaten. Call her Mum. I don't know what you call her. Let's make a new character. Don't make it Klingon anymore. And let the guy use his normal voice, and it'll be great. Or combine him with somebody, and don't kill off all the War College people. Take one of them people, combine them with that in a transporter accident, and then just let him be a normal person, and let him be gay and enjoy that character. I think he'd be a great character just as a plain gay character without any of the low voice and the Klingon backstory. None of that, because they eliminated the whole Klingon race and planet and everything just to make this stupid character. Why not just not do any of that and just make him a new character? Or just do like they did in another episode of Voyager, where they extracted the Klingon. Remember, they extracted the Klingon DNA from what was her name? B'Elanna Torres. They extracted, and she was just plain human. Why not just extract the Klingon DNA from him, since they ruined the whole Klingon race anyhow, and make him plain human and a gay man? And then just let that series roll with him as himself, and not hiding behind being a Klingon, because he's not a Klingon. He doesn't act like one, and his the way he's talking, it's just ridiculous. Let him use his normal voice. He's an actor, so however he probably speaks is a million times better than how he's being forced to be speaking. So I think if they let this actor use his own voice and not be a Klingon, I bet he'd be a million times better. The show would probably still suck, but at least he'd be better. Okay, so he gave such a great speech about Darren being a part of the team and finding his life, that the woman that was supposed to marry him said, well, I'm going to call an annulment to this because you seem like you're more at home there than being the leader of this planet, so goodbye. I mean, I don't know what the hierarchy is, but well, yeah, there you go. That's another one, a deeply closeted gay Klingon. But, now they've just got him. He's just a ridiculous stereotype now of what a gay man would be. I don't even know if, I don't even know. Like I said, I don't know anybody gay close enough to ask this question, but I've never seen gay men walk around in dresses. I didn't think that gay men necessarily wanted to be women. I mean, I just thought a gay man means that this man is attracted to another man. I didn't think that meant he wanted to be a woman. So so that's, this whole messaging is kind of confusing because all the gay men I know, they're attracted to each other and neither one of them are dressed like a woman. They're still guys and cursing and drinking beer and smoking cigars and stuff. I mean, that's what I've seen. I mean, I could be, I don't know. Okay, where were we? So his marriage is annulled, and now he's able to come back to the Starfleet Academy, the Athena, or whatever the name of the college is, while it's parked. And while it's parked, he now can restart the sexual triangle tension that they had before he left, because now Kyle is like, where did my boyfriend go? Oh, he went with Darren, and now Darren is back, and Kyle comes back and is back with Gaten, and Darren is like, thanks for everything. And so it left this little innuendo, like maybe something happened, maybe something didn't happen, and so now we've got that tension back. Yuck. So anyways, the end. That was it. I don't, that's all. That's it. I mean, to me, it was kind of boring. There was there were no stakes involved. There was nothing to win. There was nothing to lose. There was nothing new introduced. It was just these characters just did stuff. They had a little holiday. Some stayed on the ship. One tried to get married, and the rest of them eventually came back and lived happily ever after. And so after the previous one, where everybody, I don't even know what happened to. I think we're gonna find that out in the next episode. I don't know what happened to the Betazoid woman, because she apparently went into some sort of a coma or something after blowing up all the aliens' brains. The hologram girl was glitching and stuff, and the doctor was fixing her with human instruments. I don't want to see this next one because I just don't. Did they understand what a hologram is? A hologram, which exists today. I mean, this is another thing. This isn't really futuristic stuff. It's all stuff we got today. I mean, we've got holograms today. We got virtual reality games today. I can put on the virtual reality goggles and I can actually have an avatar of me today. If you shoot my avatar, I know my boys, they play this Call of Duty, and they have the little avatar. If you shoot my avatar, absolutely nothing happens to me. I might feel a little sense of defeat when my little 14-year-old boy just shot me and I couldn't do nothing about it. I might have my ego hurt, but that's it. Beyond my ego, there is no other damage done to me. And that's the whole point of a hologram. But somehow they think that a hologram is actually the hologram itself. No, the hologram is the projection. So there's nothing you can shoot at a projection that would hurt the processing, because the processing does not take place in the hologram. I don't know why. I'm positive 1,000 years from now that it's going to be something's going to be very similar. Somehow this is being projected from some computer bank or computer systems of computers, and it's being projected over distances or whatever, but it is not the actual thing itself. And they're really goofy. Now, if you wanted to have a real character that had powers, you could have made another android like Data or something and let him go glitching out. But you made a hologram and you don't even know what a hologram is. So I don't know if I want to watch this next one because I think it's heavy to fixing the hologram, and I still am fundamentally disagreeing on their definition of hologram. So I don't know if I want to watch it. So if I'm back, I'm back. If I'm not, I'm not. But I'm gonna try to come back because I'm trying to make it through this first season, and they made 2 seasons. So so far, if I were to rate the episodes, all the way through 7, they're still hovering at a D. Maybe a D minus if you take some of the Fs I gave them. And I don't know where you go from here. If you're hovering at a D, all of a sudden the last 2, 8, 9, and 10, the last 3 are great enough to make me want to watch for the second season? It's very painful to watch, Star Trek. Even the worst episode of Voyager is better than any of these. Let me think of some of the worst episodes of Voyager, for example. I liked all of the episodes. I didn't like the Neelix character that much. So let's say some of the Neelix. Okay, my least favorite Star Trek Voyager was, I think, Neelix got his lungs taken by some aliens, and he was stuck in a bed and he couldn't move. And so we had a whole episode of Neelix. And, I feel awful. I was like, yeah, let's get rid of this guy. He's really a pain in the butt. But, I got to be honest, they made a few episodes of Neelix where he was actually helping and saving the day. So he was not as bad as any of these characters. So even the very worst character of all Star Trek, I can't think of a worse character in all of Star Trek other than Neelix. Let me think. In the original series, I'm talking about the ensemble crew. I'm not talking about individual people that just so happen to show up. As a part of the ensemble, in the next generation, I liked all the characters. I don't even know why people didn't like Wesley. I liked Wesley. I thought he was awesome. Smart, bratty kid. He was great. The original series, I liked all those characters. Deep Space Nine, I liked all of them. It took me a while to warm up with Quark. I didn't like Quark as much at first, but then, he started doing some pretty treacherous, tricky things. I didn't really like the Garrick, but then he grew on me. Who was next? Like Voyager, Neelix, he was the worst. Enterprise, I liked all those characters too. I can't think of one that I didn't like. Trip and Archer and T'Pol. They had Archer a little bit too mean, and T'Pol was a little bit too cold in the first season. But then she started warming up a little bit, and by the time we got to that one with Carbon Creek, she had a sense of humor, So, but this is the only Star Trek episode iteration where I've disliked all the characters. Maybe except for the doctor on there. He seems all right, but he's still doing dumb stuff. He's, doing medical procedures on a hologram. Anyways, well, that's all I got to say about this. What time is it? It's time for me. My dog is pacing, and he wants to go for a walk, so I have to take care of my dog. But I'm going to, like I said, I'll do my best to keep this up. I don't know when I'm going to watch this. I want to try to watch it tonight, but I don't know. I'm just not enjoying the series, and it's hard for me. I just got to be honest with you. It's hard for me to watch because I'm not enjoying this Starfleet Academy, and I'm starting to agree. Oh, hey, have a great dinner. I'm about to go walk my dog, and then I've got stew on the oven. It's still simmering, so by the time I get back from my walk, I can have dinner. But I'm just getting to the point where I love Star Trek, and I just don't want to. Oh yeah, I'll go to Maggie's O'Brien's. It works for me. Hamilton's in St. Louis. I go to that one too. I mean, I always like to eat. And somebody sent me an email, wanted to collaborate. I just been busy. I had to respond to that one too. So I'm interested. Like I said, I'm a photographer and I do videos. And I've been swamped. By the way, I've got a video coming out on PBS in about a year, so I might be somebody. So keep watching. All right, y'all. Oh, yep. Here's my dog. I don't know if you hear him squeaking his toy. He wants to go. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for all the views and the comments and subscribing and everything you're doing. This is like, I can't believe it. I can't believe anybody's watching me, but I love it. So, all right. Well, you guys take care, and we'll see you next time after I watch. I wish I could tell you when I'm going to do the next one, but I don't know myself. I'm just going to watch it probably. I don't think it's tonight. I just can't do it tonight. I'll probably do it next, probably the night after, like Wednesday night or